Hey, welcome back to the channel, my fellow weather junkies. I'm your host, meteorologist Greg Majeski, your trusted weather source, bringing you the weather without all that social media hype. Here on your Wednesday, February 19th, 2025. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're tracking here for today as we have our winter storm woes across the ports of the southeast. Yeah, we got to deal a little bit of wintry precipitation. Not a whole lot of it, but definitely enough to be causing some travel headaches, that's for sure. We've got our Arctic outbreak in place, and it may not be our last one. So we're going to talk about that as we take a look at the long range on the European. And then I'm also going to discuss a little bit about my concerns about March, severe weather concerns. And basically the overall pattern we've had here going into the late winter, if it continues into the spring going into March, maybe the ingredients that you would look forward to seeing, maybe an outbreak of tornadoes and things like that. So I want to discuss that as well. Now, before we get going, I first want to say thank you to the new subscribers. And if you're that percentage out there, about 60% of you that have not yet subscribed, please do so at this time. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button in that bottom right-hand corner. Again, give me a thumbs up if you appreciate what you see, and leave me a comment. It would be great to hear from you. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our big picture here. Again, we've got some thunderstorms here along the Gulf Coast. This is actually robbing some of the moisture from going up here further north. This here is not clouds. You see this not really moving? This is cold Arctic air. Again, this is an infrared imagery looking at the coldness of the cloud tops. And this is just the ground is just so frigid cold. So that's what you're seeing up there. I thought that was interesting the way that stood out this morning. And then here we got the storm system coming in on the Pacific Northwest. This is going to drop down into Colorado and give some snows here a little bit later in the next day or so. All right, so here's the big picture right now. We got this winter storm here moving across the south and moving out the mid-Atlantic. We've got a little bit of winter weather up here into the areas of the Pacific Northwest, little windy conditions down there into Texas. Looking at the current snapshot here, a very complex map down here. Again, a lot of the heavy precipitation staying down on the Gulf Coast, kind of stealing away some of that moisture from getting up here toward the north, so limiting the snow amounts up here as a result. You see kind of got multiple boundaries in here, but boy, is it cold here in the middle of the country. Minus 37, minus 20, minus 18, 0 there near Amarillo. Very cold indeed here in the middle of the country, and this is going to be shifting very slowly and slowly begin to modify here over the next day or so. All right, here we got to take a closer look here. What's going on here across northern Alabama, North Georgia. Again, we got some of this light wintry precipitation moving here across northern Alabama, coming into North Georgia now through Dalton. I'm seeing some of the snows falling up that way. Just a plain old cold rain coming into metro Atlanta, and it's not going to amount to a whole lot here as this moves on by. Again, we are dealing with some morning thunderstorms forward to this morning, and that's just predominantly down here along the Gulf Coast. And this is the only day we're going to have to deal with any thunderstorms down here for a little while. They're across a big portion of Florida and stretching back over toward Louisiana. Next 2 or 3 days, don't have to worry about that. Another thing you don't have to worry about is excessive rainfall. That is also not going to be a problem here for the next 3 days. All right, let's go ahead and talk about our model data. Again, right now what we're seeing here on the jet stream is we've got our big polar vortex sitting right here. We got all that cold air just funneling on in here across the country. And it's this jet stream pattern that has me concerned about severe weather going into March, okay? And there's one here on the long range I'll point out to you here that has me a little concerned. But again, it's way early, but it's just an indication of why I'm concerned. That's the big thing. So we're going to pull this on out. And what we're going to see next week is we're going to see the temperatures begin to moderate as we go into Monday and Tuesday. We're going to see definitely more of a zonal flow here across the country. So as a result, we'll see a warm up there for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week. But don't get used to it because we got another dive down here in the east. Here comes the shot right there. Boom, coming down into Thursday, Friday. So here comes another cold shot coming down here across the eastern third of the United States. That'll be followed with another one. So that's Thursday, Friday. And then there's another one right there. Boom, this comes down across the eastern third as well, going into Sunday and Monday. So we got 2 different shots of cold air coming down here as we go into the following weekend. And then we'll go watch this piece of energy out here in the west. This energy here kind of come on out. And this amplified pattern is what's got me concerned going into March. You see this kind of configuration like this. We got this upper level low here coming on out in the plains here. And if this was to hold true, again, this is a long range projection. This is going out toward March the 4th. But with something like this would be a severe weather happy zone for sure if this was to hold true. And that's my main concern is where we get these little pinch off lows or these continued drop down cold shots out of Canada while the southern tier begins to warm, that we're going to really have the ingredients there for not only a stronger jet stream, but also the potential for severe weather and tornadoes. So again, keep that in mind as we go into the month of March. We got another, 10 days here, 9 days here left in the month of February. All right, so let's at the high resolution. Again, we're going to say goodbye to this system here as this exits on out. This system here will be kind of driving down into Colorado as we go over the next 40 hours. So again, you can watch that little timestamp there to kind of keep you an idea on the time here. So by the afternoon, we're saying goodbye to that precipitation there across Georgia. Again, not a lot of snows there across areas of the Carolinas. I know, I mean, some folks there in the mid-Atlantic were thinking they were going to get a big snowstorm out of this. Nope, not going to get it. It's going to go on out to sea. And then we got that little swirl of some snow, that little upper level energy here coming across Utah and into Colorado as we go throughout the day on your Thursday. Just plain old cold there in the east, that's for sure. And just dealing with just the plain old cold. That's that big Arctic high will be sitting in there for Thursday and Friday. So looking quite nippy there in the east. Let's go ahead and talk about watch the European flow here. As we say goodbye to this. Again, here is our big polar vortex sitting right there across Iowa as we head into your Thursday morning. Another morning with a lot of widespread below zero temperatures. And this will begin to slowly moderate and pull on out. By the time we get into your late day on Thursday, it's already here moved in across New England at that time with the cold air settling on in here across the east. Now, as we go into the weekend, we'll start to begin to see some changes as that blue line begins to shift up toward the north. So by Sunday morning or by Sunday afternoon, you notice it is sitting right up here. So that obviously means we're seeing things begin to warm up. Still got a little bit of active pattern, got another storm system coming out here on the Pacific Northwest going into the 23rd. And as we go on through, again, we got a little cold shot, a little shot there going into areas of the Northeast going into your Monday, Tuesday. But a lot of the country is going to be warm here all across the South. Big, nice little response. Usually when you get a big cold outbreak, you're going to get the exact opposite for at least a few days after that. And we're going to get that. But then we turn to the end of the week. We got this cold shot coming down. Here comes that 540 line dive down to the south again. Nowhere near as bad as what we're currently seeing, but it will definitely chill things down once again going into Thursday and Friday. And then we got another shot coming down. There's another one going into Sunday. So we got two back-to-back shots here showing up in long range. We'll get the lake effect snows going at that time going in toward the 2nd, the way it's looking. And then we'll turn our attention, obviously long range. We'll see how this works out with this potential system cooling out here going in toward the 5th. Because that right there would be with a low pressure pulling out right there. We'll have snows on the backside of this. This would be severe weather for sure based off that jet configuration. But again, this is out to March the 5th. We'll see if that's there in the future runs. But if we see this kind of weather pattern continue into March, I'm just telling you, we got to be very, very vigilant for severe weather. All right, and that system pulls east as we go toward late in the day on the 5th. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the precipitation here. We're going to see kind of a limited snows here, obviously, with this system. Again, nowhere near as robust as what we're seeing. What really got me is watching some of these other social media outlets just trying to find the highest snow output from whatever model it was and throwing it out there when the majority was showing it limited. I don't know what to tell you. But that's just, to me, this thing was never going to be a really big thing. That became pretty obvious here over the weekend. All right, now as we go on through here, it looks like we're seeing things pretty quiet here on the snow total here. I'm going to take us out to 240. Stop you right about there. So it looks like the Northeast, which has been one of the snowiest they've had here this winter, is once again going to see another substantial shot of some snows in here. The Intermountain region will see some more snows, but that's about it here over the next 10 days. Let's go talk about the precipitation totals here as well. We'll look at the heavy rain amounts here. Basically, contained to the Gulf Coast. You'll see that, and then going out to 240. Again, it looks like just predominantly staying here across areas of the Pacific Northwest, the Gulf Coast, and a lot of the country here. We're seeing below normal precipitation here over the next 10 days. Definitely going to be a bit dry. Looks like it may pick up a little bit more as we go toward the end. You notice as we go toward the first week of March, we start to see more precipitation there breaking back out a little beyond the 10-day. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the temperatures here. Again, this is for Thursday morning. You see this gray area? This is below zero temperatures. That's just the actual temperatures, air temperatures. You factor in what it feels like, that apparent temperatures, and it covers even a much greater area here. So we're talking getting down here into Mississippi, Texas with below zero wind chills. Got some here across New England as well with those feel-like temperatures. So as we take a closer look on that, again, we're talking wind chills. How about we -2 down here in Dallas, -3 over here to Nashville, Kansas City, -26. I mean, just some brutally cold air. -13 up at Chicago. So very, very cold indeed with this system going in for tomorrow morning. So bundle up. Again, this will begin to slowly moderate as we go here through this rest of this week. So let's go ahead and take a look at this as we go ahead and look at the temperature anomaly map. We're going to watch this cold air slowly pull on out here Here we go, going into Thursday. You kind of see it stretched there. Obviously, that purple, we're talking 25 to 30 degrees below average here. But the good news is, watch what happens as we go to next week. This is going to feel pretty good. We get this through this weekend. We got the cool air across the east, but a big part of the country going in next Monday. Look at this. Wow. By the way to go to Monday and Tuesday, coast to coast, we got a nice thaw coming our way. But again, keep in mind that those of you in the east, that is temporary. That is going to be a temporary thing because we've got another shot of cold air. Here it comes, going down into Friday. That's the first one. So again, not nearly as bad as the other one. We're talking 10 to 15 degrees below normal here, not like the 30. Or at least we're not seeing the purples on that. And then as we go into Sunday, here's another shot. Boom. This one looks like a little stronger than the other one. This comes in toward the second and third here across the east with below normal temperature. Still staying relatively warm out here in the west. Then beyond the third, once this moves on out, we're gonna start showing signs if this is gonna flip. Now, of course, this is long range. I'll be looking to see tomorrow's run to see if this is consistent or not. It turns colder out in the west, and you notice that we get colder out in the west here, warmer here across the south. This is that storm system that, again, if it was to hold true out toward the 4th, we'd be looking at some severe weather. But this is something that we'll see if that continues to be a trend or not. But we got showing a pretty robust system here with the Arctic air coming down here and with the warm air plowing in the east. And that would definitely be the ingredients you would be looking for severe weather as we go into March. Of course, March is meteorological spring begins at that time. It's March, April, and May. And we'll see how March works out for us. All right, let's wrap things up and take a look at the Climate Prediction Center outlook here as we're going out from the 24th to the 28th, keeping us pretty near normal here in the east, warmer here in the west, and going out to the 8th to the 14th, a little below normal here across the northeast. We'll see if they trim this a little bit, just the fact we're showing a couple of cold shots coming down here in the east, but relatively mild out the west. Again, this goes out to the 4th, and the model showing the flip-flop is going out to the 5th and 6th. So we'll see if this changes much later today after about 3 o'clock. Again, precipitation-wise, we already saw this. You're definitely seeing a less active weather pattern here with the dry conditions here for a big part of the country from the 24th to the 28th. But as we transition into the month of March, a little more active, except a little drier out here in the west coast area and near normal here out here in the east. So looks like we're going to finally get a chance to catch our collective breaths from this weather pattern for sure. We'll say goodbye to this winter weather here across the south. That'll be exiting today. Very, very cold Arctic air, the coldest air for many parts here have to deal with here for another day or so, but things will warm up this weekend, and then we'll get to do that nice little late February thaw for next week before some more cold air comes in beyond that. Again, I appreciate all the new followers and subscribers here on the channel. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so at this time. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you're alerted on future content. As always, if there's got a question, get something you'd like to see, please post it down below. And it'd be good to hear from you. All right, that's your update for today. You guys take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next update. Till then, y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.